Hello and welcome to my Let's Play of Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. This one I'm doing live commentary because there's quite a lot I have to say about its central metaphors. The first one looks like it is quite obvious if you look at the title screen and the way it's put together, but we won't be discussing that aspect of it quite yet, and we'll discuss that later on. It's something very obvious from the beginning. This is a very unusual looking area we're in. The one metaphor I will discuss at this point is not really a metaphor, more of a setting thing, is that this whole game takes place in Jimmy's dream. There's going to be a lot of unusual visuals because of that. That is something that the game wears on its sleeve, as is its other central metaphor, but we'll discuss that when it becomes more obvious. For now, we'll just enjoy the dream imagery, and how most of it kind of comes down to being how a child sees the world and understands certain aspects of it. As you can see from the general status screen, Jimmy's 8 years old. And has some fairly typical things to enjoy for that. Like video games and colouring, and of course his family. There is a difficulty thing, but it's kind of hard to tell which difficulty you're on, because all it does is ask, oh, do you want to change difficulty? Yes or no, it doesn't really tell you which one you're on, so it's kind of weird in that way. So I'm just going to leave it on default. Any grinding I'll do off screen, between parts. That's our older brother, Buck. He's a tough kid, or at least he tries to pretend to be anyway. Something to bear in mind about his behaviour in general as well is his age. He's older than Jimmy, but not by that much. I think he's about 13, or around that thereabouts anyway. It feels like it anyway, I can't remember exactly though. Andrew, of course, is Jimmy's father. His main gimmick throughout the game, his main shtick, will be a lot of big sciencey words that are completely meaningless, because of course that's just how Jimmy sees his father's interest in science. Just a lot of big sounding words that are kind of meaningless to him. These fountains are quite interesting. They heal you completely. Here's Lars. Kind of making fun of the Pokemon games a little bit there with the guy with coffee. Yeah, Book is very intent on Jimmy getting physically stronger. Yeah, Lars is kind of an interesting character. We'll go into that later, but he has a very important part in the family ecosystem to play. We'll discuss that when it becomes clear. Just know that while he seems a bit of a lump, there is a reason for him to be here. Let's explore the house a little bit. This is, of course, the kitchen. Not really anything in here. Let's check out these bedrooms, shall we? Maybe able to guess from the weird posters and stuff. This is Lars's room. It's not very tidy. Seems a bit pathetic given the posters he's got up. But he does have this area's soundtrack. And it's quite important that it's in his room because it sort of foreshadows his place in the family, because this part of the soundtrack sort of acts as a metaphor for the calm sort of chill-like vibes of being at home. It's a comforting tune. This is Book's room, as you may be able to guess from the equipment and the fact that it's a mess. So let's see what this thing is that's causing problems, shall we? So here's our first little boss fight. We don't have anything we can do with Jimmy right now for his imagination, but his imagination will be very important. Book, of course, is a bully, so his abilities all kind of come down to being a bully. So his are mostly physical attacks, like the Nerd Bash, for example. Here he can do a lot of physical damage with that particular attack. He can also startle the target by insulting it. He can go berserk. And he can also do a magnificent combo. Let's try that, shall we? Yeah, that does a lot of damage, but it also means that he has to take a turn off now, at least from that attack. He can't do that twice in a row. So for now, let's use Bully instead. And this, of course, is a bit of a problem there. Whenever the enemy does that coiling motion, as you saw, it means they're about to counter-attack, which can be quite dangerous. They did quite a lot of damage there. I love Information Guy. I'm a hyphen guy myself as well. Clearly, Buck's a dash man. Yeah, Buck's quite violent. And we can't open that. But yeah, this is something that when it comes to the transforming, this is something that's quite useful we can do. We can just transform between different characters. Well, not characters, Jimmy can turn into different forms at any point. Because of his power of empathy, that's his main thing. He understands how the revolting blob feels, and so he can physically become them. Now here's of course the bathroom. Also, that is Jimmy's main ability as well. He can tell how he's feeling in an area. While the revolting blob, this is more for areas that actually have enemies. He basically attracts monsters. This is Jimmy's room. And that closet looks pretty concerning. Yeah, there's kind of a lot of unwritten stuff at this point involving, like, the doghouse that doesn't appear to have been built by anyone in particular, and that some characters don't even seem to have noticed is there. It's not like it's doing any harm, though. So we did see that drain in the bathroom. That's also quite important. That's something that the blob can do. It can go down very tight gaps like that little hole. And so we can find ourselves in parents' room for some adult fun time. Which of course is just hula dancing. Again, this whole game is essentially how an 8-year-old is perceiving the world around him. And of course they lock us out, because we're not meant to be in there in the first place. Yeah, that's concerning. Can't go in there though, it's a small gap, but we can't really get in there. But we took quite a lot of damage from the fight with the revolting blob. Now we're going to stay as the blob for the time being, because of the whole imagination experience thing. There's not really much point to fighting as Jimmy on his own, because he won't get any imagination points. Also, keep an eye on that bird up there as well. That's a cool bird. It's a big boy. So let's head into Cloudy Hill for the first sort of mini dungeon of the game. These are interesting little things that show the exits to all the areas. A lot of dead ends. Now, a green exclamation mark essentially means that that is something that you can ignore. You can just press B and dismiss it and not have to fight it, because that's an enemy that's quite weak. As you saw how much damage we just did to it. And as you can see, when we get startled, we have a turn afterwards where we can't get startled because we become alert, because we're ready to be startled. So that's the way that status effect works. It startles you for a turn, and then it kind of comes back again. Now, you may have noticed we leveled up the imagination form, but not our main thing. So what the revolting blob does, every time it levels up, it actually adds an extra point in defense to Jimmy's base form, which is very useful. Because that means Jimmy can become very defensive very quickly. Especially at this early point in the game where we need all the defense and health we can get, because otherwise it can be quite easy to get taken for a ride by the enemies. And yeah, that was a red exclamation mark, which means these enemies are too strong for us to just dismiss. We have to fight these ones. So let's take a look at Jimmy's different moves. We can guard. We can attract enemies to attack us, because the general thing that the revolting blob is it's just kind of annoying, but in a way that's kind of playful. is essentially there to take the brunt of all of the enemy's hatred towards you. And that we've reduced that Wendy's speed as well for 4 turns, hence the little number 4 by the little dropping thing, the little down arrow. Let's talk to this guy, shall we? Yeah, he's basically just explaining the basic thing there. And this guy we can't really do much with right now. This guy's a big one, the Cumulus. Ah, poor Puff. I quite like the enemy variety as well. There's a lot of different types of cloud people. It's quite an interesting little thing. And here we have something quite interesting here as well. A beaver! Seems to be a busy little beaver. I quite like that little gag as well, that he doesn't quite understand what a knuckle sandwich actually means. Probably because he's never been threatened before. There's a lot of little things like that that are very cute. I like the self-image gag, that's cute. Yeah, there's a lot of places we can't quite go right now. Well, let's squeeze through this narrow gap, shall we? Seems the green-haired guy didn't see that coming. Poor Puff didn't have any kind of... And of course, this music track is called Cloud Sunday. Yeah, the Moxie points are what this game calls MP, which of course is our magic. So a lot of little clouds wander around, and it's quite a fun little area to explore. There's a balloon here. Let's poison Cumulus, shall we? Just for fun. And insult him. So I'm feeling a status affecting move right now. Let's check this balloon out. It's a nice little balloon. The little star, by the way, means it's a key item. And here's a cool statue. Let's see what Jimmy has to say about this area, actually, shall we? That's a cute one, I like that one. I'm going to try and remember to do that. I'll get rid of Nimbus because startling is really annoying. It's always best to get rid of the startlers as soon as possible. Let's see what this keepsake does, shall we? We haven't had equipment yet. So Jimmy's made equipment is a small pop gun and a Jonathan Bear shirt. Don't have anything else right now. And then he also has this keepsake that reminds us of home. Let's equip that to increase our base stats, shall we? Also, his personality is empathetic. While Buck's personality is brash. Brash basically means that sometimes when Buck attacks normally, he can actually attack twice in that turn, which is very useful actually. Another balloon! Isn't that fun? Yeah, I'm not worrying too much about leveling up or anything like that right now because I'm just going through the area. We can work out the we can grind between episodes. So now we know what the balloons are for. Mr. Marvelous wants them to move this massive weight. Probably some kind of a metaphor, but so here's the final balloon. So let's go speak to Mr. Marvelous, shall we? Once we've taken care of these guys. Oh, there's a little balloon left as well, they're very cute. The game in general's got quite a lot of charm to it. Let's see what happened there, shall we? Really, Puff? You're red? Cheeky. Let's take a look what happened there, shall we? Right here, it's a bit further down. Yep, the weight crushed the statue, because of course it did. Mr. Marvelous didn't think that through, did he? But now we can get across the bridge and follow this other weird finger sign. Something I quite like with this game as well is while we can go into a dungeon, we can just go right through it as well. So, next time what we're going to do, well first of all actually this is quite an interesting little area, Unbreakable Bridge. Not really anything here right now, just quite a long bridge that's got a break in it. I like the sunset though. So next time, what we're going to do is first of all take a pit stop into Smile and see what goes on there. And then we'll head to Giant Garden, where we'll meet the Buddy Bees. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Patreon as well. Speaking of, thank you to James Rossi for supporting me on Patreon.